Having said that, the issue is that I let myself get carried away since I think it is simply stunning. The price that I paid for it was just too high. There is no way that we will ever get our money back, but I don't care about that. How come? Mostly due to the fact that we already have Labuick already. Henry Cole is a television personality and a passionate motorcyclist who brings historic motorcycles and restoration projects to life. On the other hand, his story is not limited to just about bicycles. Although Henry began his career as a cameraman, he has always had a strong interest in telling stories, and this interest is shown in each and every one of his broadcasts. Not only has his passion for motorcycles played a significant role in shaping his career, from working behind the scenes to performing on stage, but his personal struggles have also provided fans with a window into aspects of his life that they might not be aware of. Now, let's share some information with you about Henry Cole that you probably didn't know before. Henry Cole spent the most of his boyhood in Berkshire, where he continued his education at the prestigious Eton College. Boris Johnson was one of Henry Cole's classmates at Eton College. Henry Cole was born in Norfolk, England, to a full-time house mother and an army major. As a cameraman, he began his career in the television and film sectors. After completing his education, he worked for television networks such as ITV and T-Phone before transitioning into the realm of rockumentaries with a few heavy rock bands. It was at this time that Henry made the transition to directing movies and television ads. He was able to experiment with storytelling and grasp the fundamentals of production because to the experience he gained during those eras, which gave him with vital skills. Following his successful ascent to the top of the industry, Henry began working on a variety of projects, ranging from music videos to advertising, in order to get useful insights. He worked with renowned figures such as Elizabeth Hurley and Thomas Howell on a number of his projects, which led to his collaboration with them. Even though his job was thriving, Henry continued to experience a sense of dissatisfaction. There was a gaping hole in his life. He was drawn to a passion that he had been cultivating ever since he was a young boy, and that obsession was motorcycles. Although many people are under the impression that Henry did not move into riding later in his career, the truth is that he had always had a natural talent for motorcycles. Henry's heritage is quite amazing since his ancestry can be traced back to William Ewart Gladstone, the former Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, who also happens to be his great-granduncle. Henry's career has been quite successful and his heritage is also quite impressive. Henry talked about his uncles and disclosed that his great-uncle, Redbeard Gladstone, was the one who first exposed him to the world that would later play a significant role in shaping his future. Henry, who had spent his childhood in a home with 14 bedrooms, his mother, his dog, and his father, who kept a low profile, had a strong desire to travel from an early age. However, the only way he was able to escape was through his great-uncle, who invited him to visit his workshop in Liverpool. Henry was immediately captivated upon entering the shed that belonged to his great-uncle, which was filled with an impressive collection of vintage motorcycles from the United Kingdom. At the sight of a Triumph and a BSA motorcycle, as well as the aroma of oil and leather, he was compelled to spend the rest of his life with classics. Right there in the shed, Henry found himself in a world that was very different from his privileged upbringing. It was a place that shouted freedom, which was something that he had been longing for. It was then that his passion for motorcycles took off like a rocket, propelling him towards a way of life that was not characterized by his social standing, but rather by the amount of horsepower he possessed. It took some time for Henry's move into the world of bikes to blossom into a full-time career. However, Henry's transition into the world of motorcycles did not happen all of a sudden. During the course of his work in the media industry, he started looking for methods to combine his passion for motorbikes with the experience he had gained over the course of his career. He walked into the spotlight, bringing his inner brilliance to life for viewers, and the rest, as they say, is history. He had the ability to generate content that was compelling, and he moved into the spotlight. As the individual who lives and breathes motorbikes, it may appear difficult to have a favorite, but it is not impossible. When asked in an interview, Henry disclosed that if he were forced to choose one motorcycle to bring with him to a desert island that had a beautiful network of roads, he would choose his Norton without any hesitation. All right, so this person is my Norton. In my opinion, it is an icon not only because the brand is closely associated with everything that is British, but also because it is the most stunning motorcycle. The Norton E-Two serves as the foundation for the construction of this bike. Nevertheless, it is modified with components from other motorcycles. Even though it does not match, Henry continues to find it to be a source of joy at any time and on any day. Henry has completed a journey through Wales that was 400 miles long for his show, World's Greatest Motorcycle Rides. He did this ride using the Norton that was mismatched. In spite of the fact that it was a bicycle from the 1940s, it performed admirably and shown its dependability. In addition, Henry added that a desert racer starring Steve McQueen is his second favorite vehicle because it fulfills a lot of requirements for him individually. If you have to choose only two bikes from the lot, you will have to locate a bike that satisfies every requirement, which is a difficult task. But the Norton and the Steve McQueen motorcycles get close. Henry, on the other hand, does not simply have a few favorite bicycles. Rather, he has a bicycle that serves every mood, which is the reason why he has so many of them. The majority of Henry's time is spent riding by himself, and he is determined to discover a method to establish a connection with each of his motorcycles. According to him, bicycles are incapable of communicating with one another. Nonetheless, each of his journeys feels like a discussion with the bicycle that he selects. For example, the Norton bike, which is one of his favorites, is the ideal companion for him when he goes on regular rides to the Cotswolds during the day. During each journey, his American helicopter, on the other hand, reveals a different version of him that is accompanied by deep conversation. To put it another way, motorbikes may appear to everyone else as nothing more than pieces of metal machinery. Yet, Henry considers them to be his companions, in whom he finds happiness and inspiration. At the moment, Henry Cole is undoubtedly a well-known figure in the world of motorbikes, but his interests extend far beyond that particular domain. Adding car restoration to the list of hobbies that Henry enjoys doing seems like a natural thing to pursue for someone like Henry. His show, Shed and Buried Classic Cars, illustrates that Henry enjoys discovering the stories that are associated with each and every one of his vehicles, whether they are vintage automobiles or motorcycles. In addition to this, Henry is a huge fan of taking road journeys, which have led him to visit some truly remarkable places all over the world. In his opinion, the journeys are not only about the journey itself, rather, they are primarily about the people and cultures that he encounters along the way. Without a doubt, his travels serve as the impetus for his storytelling, providing viewers with a glimpse into a variety of civilizations and breathtaking landscapes. Although Henry is currently on his way, sharing his exploits and making viewers happy, very few people are aware of the struggles that he had to overcome in order to become the person that he is today. When Henry reflected on the years between 1983 and 1988, he confessed that those years were the most difficult of his life. It was during this time that he fought with problems related to substance misuse. In spite of the fact that he has been clean for more than 3 decades, Henry is now making himself available to offer support to those who are going through the same journey. Henry highlighted how long it took him to realize that life has more to offer than the limits of substance misuse that he had caged himself into. He was reflecting on his path at the time. Many people looked forward to him as a source of motivation, since he has made satisfaction the focal point of his life, which has made him more than just a television personality. Being a source of motivation for people all around the world is the most gratifying thing in the world, but putting on a successful motorcycle display is also really impressive. Henry's Motorbike Show is currently the most popular and longest-running motorcycle magazine program in the United Kingdom by a significant margin. The key is straightforward. He gives the impression that the show is genuine. Additionally, the show is not limited to a single garage or area that has the same repeating setup, which reduces the likelihood that viewers will become bored. Instead, Henry takes viewers on a variety of road trips, introducing them to new places without requiring them to leave the comfort of their own homes. Fans fall in love with the many locations that are featured on the show. However, not many people are aware that Henry is the owner of the television production firm that is responsible for making the show. This also helps to the popularity of the show because it allows him the freedom to create original content for his devoted audience, while also allowing him to feature his close friends, who increase the show's level of enjoyment through their participation. To let you know, Henry's passion for motorcycles is not limited to merely watching episodes about them on television. There are instances when he accepts challenges, and as a result, he has achieved a number of world records up to this point. While participating in one of his competitions, in 2013, Henry accomplished a significant feat by establishing a world land speed record on a pre-195575 Zerok motorbike, which was a classic Bro Superior. He accomplished this by attaining an astounding speed of 99.78 miles per hour. Of course, that is not all. Elvington Airfield, located in North Yorkshire, was the location where Henry and Alan Millyard, whom he had met at his motorbike event in 2014, established a new Guinness World Record for the fastest tandem motorcycle ride. This record was set in May of 2023. They were able to achieve a high speed of 183 miles per hour while riding on Alan's Viper V10, which was powered by an 8-liter Dodge sports car engine. This allowed them to overtake the previous record holder. The fact that Alan created and constructed the Viper V10 in his single-car garage that was attached to his house is what makes Henry's record so remarkable. This is in addition to the fact that the main record is what makes Henry's record so interesting. Henry's personality is not completely different when he is not in front of the camera. His lifestyle continues to be centered around motorcycles, travels, and other such activities. And when he's not out on his long rides, he spends his time thinking about riders and writing about them. In his autobiography titled A Biker's Life, Misadventures on and Off Two Wheels, he provided an honest description of his love life. He went into specifics about how he experienced feelings of disorientation at various stages in his life, and how motorcycling helped him find his way back to himself. Henry's narrative sparked a fire in the hearts of millions of motorcyclists, prompting them to recall the liberating potential that their $1,000 pieces of machinery may offer. The values of bikers were captured by him as a worldwide community of like-minded spirits that aspired to live by the thrills of their throttles, enjoying adventures on the open road, and not being pacified by a four-wheeler. He was able to capture the essence of bikers.